Friends, welcome to another project. This is Midtown Square. This is a property that I love, love, love. And the developer who developed this property, it's like mindful development, right? So incorporating a lot of local artists, incorporating businesses that have been around for ages and ages. And this is a super fun property because I get to have peak creativity. They love color. They love brilliance. They really love the community to come in and utilize this space. And honestly, there's nothing more inviting than brilliant color and texture. So I'm going to take you in. I'm going to show you the color story that I've established for this season. And we're going red. We're going bold. We're going texture. And so I'll show you the palette I've established, and then let's get creative with some containers. Okay, friends, panning down here, I have established essentially this color palette that you see before me. It is rich, it is vibrant. I'm using a lot of pops of chartreuse and again, tons of texture. Okay, one of the big focal features for me is centerpieces. I want evergreen, I want structure, and they need to be very, very flexible. So first things first, I am bringing in this beautiful Osmanthus Goshiki. This to me screams holiday. It also has just great texture and great interest. Another centerpiece I am playing with is this little cutie right here. This is a Aucuba. This one is called Mr. Goldstrike. This is a full shade, brilliant, brilliant selection, and it is going to be very durable, very hardy. This is a public space, so I do have to be mindful that the selections I put in can withstand a little bit of abuse. I also have brought in this Chamaecyparis. This is a Fernspray Gold Cypress, and I love it. You guys have seen me use this before. Graceful arching texture. This is a fabulous winter selection. Coming in close for our color pops. First things first, this is a Viola called Admire Red Blotch. I love it. There's a little bit of variegation here, variation between the blooms. So sometimes they're this deeper, more velvet. Sometimes you get a little bit more yellow, but they all have this blotch at the center. From afar, it still reads as a neutral. The next kind of solid color is this Viola. This is a penny clear yellow, and I love to have this on hand because it pairs so beautifully with so many different colors that I bring into the landscape. Next is a Pansy. This is called Freefall XL Fire. And look at that beautiful bicolor. You know, it's interesting. This is a newer selection for me this year, but in doing some research, they have actually bred this to withstand elements such as rain more significantly, which in my region is definitely something to take into consideration. Now, I have 3 grasses I'm going to be playing with for this landscape. The first is this beautiful texture. This one is called Carex Testacea. This is also known as orange sedge. It's fairly young, so it's primarily green, but you can see this gorgeous orange that is coming out as you reach the top of these blades. Actually, look how gorgeous that is in the sun. Love it. The next grass that I'm going to be playing with here is this. This is Acorus Ogon. This is a staple for me. This has very directional fan blades, so it's lovely kind of around the edge of a container. I'll show you what I mean. See how it's growing? It's just like the perfect something when you need it like popping out from underneath a centerpiece or any other elements. Great highlighter. The third grass I'm going to be using is this one. This is Carex Feather Falls, and this one cascades so beautifully around the edge of a container. But what you're noticing here is I love to have texture first because it will actually help give so much body and life to an arrangement. And then last thing I want to show you here before I get into planting these containers is this. This is a Leucothue. It is called Rainbow, and look at this just brilliant, brilliant new foliage. As it ages, it becomes more of this mottled white, but this adds a layer of depth and dimension that also echoes kind of the spotting that we saw on the Osmanthus Goshiki. Okay, I've got lots of other fun things to play with. I will spare you all of the details, but you're also going to notice I'm going to bring in a shot of white and silver. So I do have Senecio here. This is one called New Look. I also have the white margin of this euonymus. And of course, I'm going to be using some trailers, specifically a Glacier Ivy that has, again, that white margin so that it helps cool down all of these spicy red and orange and deep Merlot colors that we're going to bring in. Because these are public containers, I always double check and bring extra material because I find that in public spaces you have a higher turnover. When I demo a pot, I always do an evaluation. I'm like, okay, what looks good? What am I enjoying? What goes with the new color story that we're bringing in? And what is an annual and needs to go? So first things first, I clear out my annuals. That gives me a much better visual for how things are looking. So we're gonna say goodbye to our sweet potato vine. There was some coleus in here. There were some gorgeous fuchsias. The Garden Meister performed really well, so I'm gonna make a note in my records that I wanna bring that back next year. And it kind of leaves us here with these choices. All right, first things first, Vinca. I love it as a trailer. I hate it in the landscape. It just forms a crazy mat that is really hard to work around. Now, there's one off the front. There's also one off the back here, and I feel like it's just too much. This has actually rooted its way around, so I'm going to get rid of this Vinca. Next thing, I'm actually going to take out this Acorus here. It's been in here for a while, and I kind of want to go a different direction. All right. And you can see how this Vinca is just making its way all the way around. So now what we're left with is a couple things that actually look really fabulous. This guy here is a Formium. I can't remember the variety, but it still looks really quite good. So I'm going to leave it in for now. I'm just going to tackle, cut off this dead foliage. And then right here, this is a Sarcococca. And this is going to bloom and smell absolutely heavenly in the middle of winter. It is also in really great shape. Sarcococca is one of those plants that I love to use at a job site where I know there's not going to be a lot of water because it does well in dry shade. So I think I'm actually going to leave this as the centerpiece because it looks gorgeous. The Formium, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how all the other elements come together. She may stay. I may take her out. To be determined. Off to the next pot. Right here, I have to say that this is stealing my heart. Gorgeous coleus, beautiful geranium. I believe this one is Brocade Fire. Love it. Heuchera, one of my favorite grasses of all times. This is Areola. I'm actually going to dig this out and you may see it at my house. And then look at this beautiful, beautiful dark sweet potato vine. There is also some gorgeous purple Calibrachoa back here. We went orange, red, and purple with these containers. The only thing that did not perform is this euonymus back here. And guessing from the stippling on the leaves, something has gotten after it. I suspect human wildlife. So she's going to go. I think this is actually going to be a full pot tear out. I might leave the Formium if it looks good. If not, it's going to. Les, do you think my pots are perfect all the time? Someone was partying it up with some Tito's and pitched it in. You know, it's sometimes glamorous, but not always. But I think the thing that is most important in these situations is to remember that I get to bring flowers to so many more people by doing these public spaces that get a little bit more abuse. So it's going to go in the garbage. Did they pour one out for the homies in my planter? Unsure. Unsure. If you don't know that reference, consult your child. Okay, friends, pro tip out there. When you're doing a multitude of pots at your property, always start with the centerpieces because what I find creates a really dynamic arrangement is actually to vary up the centerpieces or provide consistency throughout an area. So for example, if you're doing a trough, maybe you do 3 cute little cypresses all in a row to create something really uniform, really kind of modern. Now in this design, because we have so much inspiration from above, let's see if we can catch it. Whoa! We have so much inspiration from above. We have so much inspiration from this vibrant community. I like to vary up my arrangements. And so I'm going to spin you around and I'm going to show you what I mean by varying up size, shape, texture, color. Size, shape, texture, color. That's what I want you to think about. Okay. Okay, so here we are. And I want to just give you a long glance here. But remember, size, shape, texture, color. First, Sarcococca, I'm keeping her. She is butted up, looking so good. So here you can see we have low, somewhat vase shaped, right? So a V is a vase shape. Beautiful, glossy, green leaf. No variegation. Next, we're going to bring in a different texture. This is a tree form. This is our Chamaecyparis Fernspray Gold. We have beautiful arching fronds. These resemble a fern almost. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. So we varied form, texture, color, shape, the whole 9. Now we move again. Here we are. We are going to, again, we're marrying a little bit of color here, right? So we have the Chamaecyparis with some brighter notes. Now we move on to our Osmanthus. This is an Osmanthus called Goshiki. We are bringing in the glossy leaf of our first selection. Yet, look at this. Variegation in the foliage, really different spiky texture, beautiful holly texture for the upcoming winter holidays. Okay, we move on. Next is our Aucuba, right? So we're back to a very glossy leaf. However, this is softer. It's a much broader leaf shape. This is also mimicking our vase shape from the Sarcococca. And so again, varying it up. Now, as we swing this way, I'm going to show you these 2 centerpieces. Next up, this is a Fatshedera. So this is amazing. This is a mixture between a Fatsia and a Heuchera, an ivy, and it takes to sculpting so well. So this has actually really been loving its life in the shade. But again, look at this amazing dynamic leaf shape. Yet another leaf shape we're bringing into our kind of our montage here. I'm going to bring this back a little bit. So I'm going to cut off about 1.5 feet in height, and then we'll stake it back because I really want this to be a beautiful columnar upright form. Last but not least, right here by the entrance to Art Noir, which is a stunning, amazing, Black-owned business, just incredible, incredible space, we have another Goshiki. So I'm going to repeat an element, bringing it back in to kind of just round out the selections. Okay, so that was just a very brief overview of form, texture, shape, color. These are all the elements I take into consideration when I'm doing a compilation. I want them to speak to one another, or I want them to contrast heavily off one another. And then also, repetition is sometimes very, very lovely. So say you're working on a property, you've got 3 pots over here and maybe 1 pot over here. I might bring the centerpiece from that singular pot and marry it into your collection, because that's going to help the eye travel throughout the space and have everything make sense. Okay. I gotta get some pots in. So you're gonna see me go through and install all of these containers, but my assistant has already gone through and charged up the soil with fertilizer, and she's topping everything off with fresh potting soil. So there's a lot of work that's being done that you probably aren't gonna see, but it does go into every single container that we change out. For a size reference, this is one of our largest pots. It's about 24 inches in diameter. So a really beautiful size. It gives us a lot of range, a lot of opportunity to work our magic. So the last note that I wanted to make on all of these containers, I'm always going to add a little something to the back of them because behind me are the windows to Art Noir. And I feel like whenever they have, I always think about the customer experience, right? So I want not only the customers of Art Noir, but I also want the people who work there to be able to look out and enjoy these containers from every which way. So yes, I'm putting flowers in the back of a container. And yes, it's on purpose. It's so that everyone gets to enjoy them. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, this next pot, I am gonna do just very simple color spots all the way around. I have 4, actually I'm gonna switch this design just a wee bit, but I've got 4 ivies that are placed all the way around, and then I'm simply gonna fill in with, I think 2 pansies is sufficient, and for this one, I'm using that gorgeous Freefall, Firefly, something. Anyways, you know. I'm actually going to reposition this because it's too far forward. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. Okay, I'm going to bring in some other options. Okay. So I could go dark. Too dark. Could go red. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I like that either. Also, go there. That is very tonal. Do I like that there? Interesting. I don't know that I like that. Okay, more choices. Oh, I don't like that either. What the heck? I think that might be the best, but then I need to brighten it up quite a bit. Better, way better. Way, way, way better. Okay, I kind of like that right there. Again, more brightness. Don't mind that there. Also do that there, or could go for a little bit of balance here with that autumnal fern. That's pretty cute. Okay, that's very samey. What if I did that? Okay, I kind of like that. Okay. I think I actually really like that. Okay, with that silver in the back, it makes sense to have some silver here. And then I'm going to use this one as a trailer too, I think. And let's see where this lands us. I could also do that tucked back in there. Okay, I think that might be the way to go. Okay, I'm actually going to do this as kind of like a more full front trailer. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave color through there. It's going to be good. Okay, let me see what else I got. Might go for a little bit of balance here. Okie dokie. All right, color time. Perfect. I come bearing grasses. Okay, I've brought 3 grasses because I just want to show you what a difference a grass can make within a container. So we're going to try all 3 and see what we like. So here is option 1. Spoiler, I think I already know which one I like. That's one option there. Okay, and what you can see I'm doing is I'm making a little triangle here with my Erica, my Heuchera, and my grass. So that's one option. Okay, let's take it away. Option 2. Oh, interesting. Super, super textural. That's kind of cool too. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to bring one last player into the game here. I'm mirroring this exact leaf shape all the way down, which is kind of cool, kind of fun to see. Okay, so option 2 is the Carex Testacea. God, that looks good too. Gosh, this Carex, we could almost bring it back in there. Ooh. All right, option number 3. You know what? I don't like that one as much. Okay, here's what I'm not liking about that. It's like mounding, kind of mounding. We need to mix this up. Not liking it. Okay, off we go. For me, it is really out to adding that gorgeous fan or mixing it up with some Carex that's going to add some nice height and volume. I think I like this one. Okay, decision made. By the way, I always try things because I was thinking I was immediately going to go with the Acorus, but I think this Testacea is actually really fun. And I love that we're kind of like, we're working with so many different heights here. Also, this fire alarm, I pinched back a lot of like the kind of less than desirable growth. And so she's a little spindly right now. And so the other thing that this Carex does is it takes up space that the fire alarm is kind of lacking right now. So it plays with it a little bit more in there. Friends, that's going to do it for me today. It is lunchtime, so I'm going to go grab some jerk chicken, and I think I'm probably going to go buy raised. Okay, quick plugs. Art Noir, amazing, incredible, like gifts. They had this this hand lotion last year that was vanilla, so good. Jerk Shack is here. That's where I'm going to pick up my lunch because their jerk chicken. Their Jamaican chicken. Their jerk chicken. Oh my God, I'm so tired. Their jerk chicken is amazing. Raised donuts and cakes. They are right here on Union. They have incredible gluten-free. You heard me, gluten-free. For those of you who suffer from this affliction, I am here on the streets. I'm telling you, this is an amazing, amazing donut and cake shop. So stop by. Incredible. And then I'm also going to include some footage of just beautiful art they have going all around this place. Also, shout out to Neighbor Lady Public House and the Sip Sip Cafe. All fantastic, all right here in the Central District. So get some chicken, have a good time, get yourself a little donut, go visit the Neighbor Lady, and we'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, as always, go say hello to your garden for me.